Brian Kent came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to join my show?" And I said, "Yes," and that was it. Became an actor.
That's easy.
It was that easy. I didn't go to drama school. Yeah, just happened really.
Just fell on your lap. What was... Now, when I was doing the research and I was going through your career, and it's a very long career.
I know, I'm so old.
You don't look a day over 25.
When did you last have your eyes tested?
Quite a while ago. I think I'm going blind.
I think so. A hell of a long time ago.
And when I was doing the research, I got contradicting stories of what your first acting job was. So, was it Robert's Robots or Vision On?
Oh, Robert's Robots, that rings a bell. No, it was Vision On. Vision On was my first television acting.
Yes.
I mean, the Ken Campbell Roadshow, which I joined, was the very first acting role
Yes.
I got. And, Vision On.
Was Vision On?
Yeah.
I'll have to tell the sites that say it's Robert's Robots that are absolutely wrong.
No, I think Robert's Robots was with, I forgot the other actors. I vaguely remember it, yeah.
So, you get when you found out you were Doctor Who, was it a phone call you got?
A what?
A phone call. Did they phone you to tell you they were Doctor Who, or did they take you into the office?
Listen, I got it so long ago, they didn't have phones. They sent a pigeon. They put it in my head. No, that was Radagast. Yes. Well, I suppose it was. You know, your agent phones up and says, you've got the job, and that was it, really.
And what did it feel like to get one of the most iconic British roles?
Well, I had no idea quite what I'd taken on because I was an actor. I started acting when I was, 27, and it was years later, just a couple of years into Tom Baker's reign.
Yes.
I became an actor. So I never saw television again, especially in the evenings, because Saturdays we were doing two shows, a matinee and an evening show. It was never repeated. You couldn't record it. So I had no knowledge of it when I got it. I just thought, it's, other people had told me I should be a doctor, so I took their advice and applied for the job.
Went with it.
Let's go with it and see what happens, really.
What's the worst that can happen?
I had no idea that all these 30-odd, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, I'd still be doing it. Because I'm doing Big Finish as well.
Yes, you are.
It never goes away, really, which is brilliant. When I first got it, I was in the pub with a mate, and he said to me, "Oh, you got Doctor Who, you're going to be rich now, you have a Rolls Royce." And I was going, "No, not really. BBC don't pay that much, It's okay, it's a good wage, I'm not knocking it." So I was explaining to this guy, someone was listening, and he told the Sun newspaper. The next day, it was in the Sun newspaper. So Doctor Who complains about his wages. So I was very embarrassed about that. And then the producer's boyfriend came up to me later and said, he said, "Sylvester, I know the money's not great, but this is how it is," he said. "It's like fat dripping off a pig." And since then, it's been dripping. And I quite like dripping now. I didn't used to like dripping, but I really like it now.
Your doctor has been described as darker. Did you think that your doctor was darker than the other doctors?
Yes. Because I was ignorant, and also the script editor was from Canada.
Yes.
So both of us were quite ignorant, really. I had a very distant memory of Patrick Troughton and all that. So I started off in a comedic way because of Patrick Troughton. I always thought he was kind of comedic. But then when I realised what role I'd been given, I realised how... and also he lived for 800 years. And my grandmother was 100. And in those days, that was, unusual. And she'd lived a long life. She was kind of fit, but tired of life. She'd seen her children die. It was a whole...
Yes.
And I thought, I've got to bring that to the doctor. He's had 800 years. He's lost companions. He's seen the most appalling things in his life, as well as some great things. And so I wanted to bring all that into it. And years later, Stephen Moffat, he said to me, I hadn't really realised this, that my doctor had changed the doctor. Before that, it was cartoon-like, and that was what it was meant to be. It was really well. But he said I changed it into something more three-dimensional. Now, I didn't realise I was doing that. I just thought that's how I interpreted it. So I was very proud to know that I'd made it darker. And mysterious. The mystery, that was another thing. I wanted to bring back the mystery, because when I got it and then started to discover that, so much was known about the Doctor, I thought, well, the very first one, nobody knew anything about him. He was a mystery. And I thought, this would be great. I'll try. So that was another thing, to bring back the mystery of the Doctor.
So you were a darker Doctor, you had a different kind of companion. You had Ace, who wasn't the typical kind of companion. So what was it like working with Sophie?
It was great. I mean, the thing is that we hit it off from the very first moment. She laughed at my jokes. Believe it or not, she's still laughing at them. I mean, it is amazing, really. No, we just hit it off. Okay, we were great mates from the very, very beginning. We had the same, outlook on life, politics, the lot, really.
Oh, that's always nice.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Radagast.
Radagast the Brown.
The Brown, yes.
I was in The Hobbit,
I know, I've seen it.
Yeah, I keep telling Colin Baker that, and it really makes him angry.
I like that.
Every time I see him.
What was it like?
Colin, I was in The Hobbit. Both.
Yeah. So what was it like to be part of this big fantasy that that already had like Lord of the Rings films, and then you were to be part of The Hobbit?
Well, it was great, really. The thing is, funny enough, I was up for Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings. Yes, I saw
that, yes.
And it went down to 2 actors. They started with a dozen, and slowly they work out various different... And so it was between myself and Ian Holm. Luckily, for Ian Holm, I wasn't a killer. Otherwise, he'd be dead, and I'd be doing it. No, he was great. But if you look very carefully at me back then, I didn't get into The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings, but my hair did. Because Ian Holm had very kind of straight hair, tight hair. I had it's all gone, I've dyed it grey because people don't believe how old I am. But anyway, so it was all wild and, kind of...
Yeah.
And that's my hair. He's wearing my hair. So I didn't get into the Lord of the Rings, but my hair did.
Do you know what? That should be on your wiki page.
Yes, indeed.
It needs updating.
Yeah. Anyway, it was great. It was great doing it. 3 years of amazing country, amazing things to, I loved it, doing it.
Those rabbits.
The Rascabel rabbits, yes. There are rabbits that size. They're Belgian, northern Belgium.
I have seen big rabbits, yeah.
Yeah, and they were kind of based on that.
Because when they brought it out with the rabbits and that, it's the scene where you have to outrun the warg riders, and you say that have been against the rabbits. It's one of my favourites.
Of the what?
When...
Oh, I'd like to see them try.
Yes, I'd like to see. Yeah, that one.
The Rascabel rabbits. I'd like to see them try.
Yeah. Just to see those rabbits go, and I was like, I watched that. I was like, I want some of those rabbits.
I also work with other animals as hedgehog. Now, when I was doing the scene, the beginning, I don't know if those that have never seen The Hobbit, I had a whole scene by myself in a wonderful, dilapidated house, beautiful, beautiful set, and in it, I was trying to save the life of a hedgehog. So they gave me this stuffed hedgehog, right? And I was just, so just me and a stuffed hedgehog. And I kept thinking, I'm going to be on the biggest screens in the world with me and a stuffed hedgehog. No other actors, just me. Wow, wait till my sons see that. So then we cut to the years when it's all finished, and we do the first film. You see the world premiere, and I'm sitting there, and my scene's coming up, and I think, oh great, this is it. Nudge my sons, this is me. And then suddenly, the Wizards of Weta got hold of that stuffed hedgehog and turned it into this poor wee thing, and everybody was going, oh, look at the poor wee thing. The bastard upstaged me all the way through that scene. I should have killed it. I didn't want to. I thought it was just me and a stuffed hedgehog, but no, never
upstaged by a hedgehog.
Never work with children or hedgehogs. That's my thing.
You heard it here first. Do not work with hedgehogs.
Yes.
They will steal your scene.
Yes.
How would
Especially
you,
if we're to get hold of them.
yeah, how would you describe Radagast?
Hairy.
Hairy.
I would imagine he might not smell too well.
He has animals everywhere.
And, I don't think he doesn't bath very much.
He's got birds in his hair. He's
Bird
just-
poo, yes.
Yeah.
And lots of little animals living in his
Yeah,
costume.
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
He's
the first ecologist.
a one with nature.
He is. He is nature itself. It was really good part to play, especially these times, because, it was bubbling up, that the world was in need of help, and he's a kind of a character that fits that, really. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite Doctor Who episode that you did?
Oh, it's always very difficult to tell, really, because I see it from a very different angle. I see it from behind,
Yeah.
And it's like the Great Show in the Galaxy had such fun. There's great fun to be had. What else was there? The Daleks one was great fun too.
Those Daleks terrified me. Honestly, it was that moment. It was your doctor, and those Daleks. I swear, they just terrified me. I was so scared of them.
That was the first time when you saw them levitate upstairs. One of them.
You were no longer safe. I couldn't hide upstairs because suddenly they were going upstairs, and I was like, that's just not right.
Well, I mean, how they did that, the BBC in those days, it was astonishing, really. It wasn't CGI. They actually got a real Dalek, a big, heavy Dalek that was in the studio, and then they stuck 2 scaffolding poles into its side, and so the scaffolding poles kind of were like that, and then there was the stairs, and then there was a wall, and then there was a hole, and behind the wall was another scaffolding pole going up at the same angle as the stairs. And then they got 12 men on this side pulling the thing. So this poor Dalek was like, it was going up the stairs like this. And by the time it got to the top, I think it threw up. But they didn't even get a cardboard Dalek or a light thing. They got a really heavy Dalek and stuck it and pulled it up the stairs. I bet they were happy when CGI came.
They're like, this.
Yeah.
This is life. This is what we need.
Indeed. Yeah.
Now, you can play the spoons.
Can I? Oh.
Apparently so, yes.
Yeah. Oh, what a thing. Yes. Yes. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, what? Look.
Now, it's funny that you have them, because, 1 minute, I also prepared for this.
Have you brought some? We can have a competition. What I need is someone to hold a microphone. What?
I also brought spoons.
It took you a long time to get there.
Now, you see, I'm not accomplished in spoon playing, and I'm hoping you can give me some tips on how to correctly play the spoons.
Well, it's if you keep it near the spoon. Come with me.
And we're off.
You can come with me.
Rude. Just can't get the help.
Excuses. Right, anyway.
Right, so
No, a masterclass. I will give you a masterclass at another time.
I was going to say, I've got my spoons. Right, you just give me the correct way to hold these. You just hold this for me a minute, Lindsay. Right.
Oh, this is too tedious for the audience.
Tell me how to hold these.
Well, you hold them back to back.
Right,
Right, like that. And then you just hold them so that when you hit them, they do that. Right. Okay, that's the first lesson. Sit down. I shall send you my bill. Does anyone want to ask any questions? Right, okay, let's do that.
Let's go. Who wants to ask questions?
I'll go out.
You go over.
And if anyone misbehaves, I'll just go.
Excellent.
when I first did this the first show, my whole back seized up in fear. I thought, I'm never going to do that again. But then they asked me to go back and offered me more money, so I went back. And I used to love it when it went wrong. When things went wrong was when the most fun was had. You know, there'd be something like, you'd be doing a sketch with a punchline, and then the camera would go away before you got to the punchline. So you go up, grab the camera, pull it back, do the punchline. I always loved getting custard pies in other people's faces. But my favourite role, I think, was I used to change into a werewolf. I don't know if you remember that. I quite enjoyed doing that, really. That was great fun.
Anybody else got a question?
There's this person here. This person. It's all right, I'll take over now.
Apparently I'm surplus to requirements now. I'm just going to follow him. I'm just going to stalk him. It's fine.
Was it fun riding the sled in The Hobbit?
It was great fun. In fact, I used to love that bit best and never wanted to do any other bit. But what they did was at one time they got 12 men all dressed up in green because it was green screen, pulling it. Then they got a motor car pulling it, and then they got an engine attached to the ground pulling it. Yeah. So. Yes, no, I'll go over there, yes. Hello.
Would you ever return to Doctor Who?
Would I? I would. If they asked me. Yeah. Do you want to ask a question?
No.
Good.
What's your favourite Doctor Who?
What? Who? Who is my favourite Who? Apart from me? Is that all right? Well, actually, I think I quite like Chris Eccleston. It was, I come from up north, that's grand, isn't it? Because I always thought it was a wee bit too middle class, white middle class men. And so I was when we did it and Sophie was playing Ace, she wasn't allowed to do a very street accent. They didn't want her to, and I always thought, it's a pity. And so when Rose came along, and that was great. So yeah, I think Christopher Eccleston. Who's yours? Dr.
You like James?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Sylvester McCoy?
You're him.
I know. I'll just give you a hint. Oh, Jodie's great. I love Jodie. I never thought I'd fancy a doctor. Isn't that amazing?
Was it fun working with Paul McGann?
Yeah, it was great. I knew Paul from before. We were all old mates, really, and it was great. And I mean, the thing was that I don't know if the transfer we changed from one doctor to the other. I got a rubber face. I go, I could do all that, and I discovered that Paul could do the same. So that was really fun. I started to disintegrate, and he carried on, and then turned into that ugly little Liverpudlian. No, he's not. All right, anyone over here? All right.
Did you take any souvenirs from Doctor Who?
Well, yes and no. I did. I didn't. I had the whole costume and a couple of the umbrellas, the original umbrellas. The reason why I had them was that they gave them to me to do PAs, personal appearances places. And then when they stopped it, they forgot to ask for it back, and I forgot to give it back. So that's why I've got those things, really. Yes. It's mine.
You were friends with another of my favourites, John Pertwee. Do you have any good memories with him?
Oh, John, yeah. We got on incredibly well, really. We had a lovely time. And escapology. Anyway, yes, John, I mean, we were in Chicago, John and I, doing a convention. We'd flown over on the Friday or the Thursday, and we'd been working very hard, and it was the Sunday night we'd finished. John was completely exhausted, and he was sitting at the bar in the hotel, an old man, and he said to me, "Don't tell the wife, I'm having a cigarette." And then suddenly a young actress came in who we both thought was rather beautiful. And the most amazing thing happened. I was watching, John somehow turned into this 25-year-old elegant man on this, and by the time she arrived, he was like, hello, darling. It was just that transformation of an old man into a young man. It's quite quite astonishing to watch. That was one of my fond memories of him. The man with the beard at the back, that's not real. Come forward. Yes.
How old were you when you first started Doctor Who?
How old was I? God, I don't know. 1987. 1987. Yeah, I was...
Yes, Mr. McCoy has tangled me up.
Yes, 1987. So I was born in 1943. So what age was I then? Some maths teachers. It's right, 45. Well done. You should get a gold star. How old am I now? 125. I think I'm 78. I'll be 79 this year. Next year, the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, I'll be 80. So I was 20 when it came out, really. Oh, thank you. It's my doctor. Anyone else? Questions? No. Have we run out of time? Over there. Come closer.
3 minutes.
Do you have any favourite Big Finish stories?
The Big Finish. Yes, well, the only favourite, the most obvious one is the food. The guy who makes the food is absolutely brilliant. The money's bad, but the food is brilliant. The problem with the Big Finish is you get the script, and then you just mark it up. Whereas when you're doing a television or a film, you work at it, you rehearse at it, you get to know it really well. But what we do is we go in, read it, and then leave and forget it. But I love doing them. What's great is that in my Big Finish stories, I'm 6 feet tall, and the sets don't shake. So that's one of the great things about Big Finish. Yes. Right, you can ask a question.
Oh, thank you very much.
You.
Right, I think
They've got bored with questions.
They got bonus questions. Right, we're coming to the end of the interview, but before we go, I want to do some quick fire questions.
Fire away.
Right, you ready? Hot drinks or cold drinks?
Cold, with ice and lemon.
Watching TV or reading?
Yeah, 50-50 really. Before, when I was a bit younger, it was reading. But I'm old.
Would you prefer to be working or relaxing?
Working.
Like my friend, she much prefers to work. Now, do you like things spicy or mild?
Spicy.
Ooh, likes life spicy. And finally, Radagast or Doctor Who?
For that young person there, I say Radahu.
Radagast. Very diplomatic answer. Thank you very much, Mr. McCoy.